Chapter 26. Jing woke up early, feeling energized and ready for the day ahead. He had been looking forward to this day for weeks, as it was the start of a new workshop series at his retreat center. He got dressed quickly and made his way to the kitchen where Kira was already brewing coffee. "Morning," Kira said, pouring Jing a cup of coffee. "You look excited." "I am," Jing replied, taking a sip of his coffee. "We have a full house this week, and I'm looking forward to introducing all these new people to Tantric sex. It's always so exciting to see their reactions." Kira smiled, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. "I know what you mean. It's such a privilege to be able to guide people on this journey." They spent the morning preparing for the workshop, setting up the space, and making sure everything was perfect. As the participants arrived, Jing and Kira greeted them warmly, making them feel welcome and at ease. The workshop was a success, with participants experiencing new levels of intimacy and connection. Jing and Kira were thrilled to see the impact their work was having on people's lives. That evening, as they sat around the fire pit, they reflected on the day's events, sipping on glasses of wine. Maya arrived, her face glowing with happiness. "I have some news," she exclaimed. "What is it?" Kira asked, curious. "I've been offered an art residency in Europe," Maya said, beaming with excitement. "That's amazing," Jing said, giving her a hug. "When do you leave?" "In a month," Maya replied. "I'm nervous, but so excited. This is a dream come true." Jing and Kira exchanged a look, both feeling a twinge of sadness at the thought of Maya leaving. She had become such an important part of their lives, and they didn't know how they would go on without her. But they knew their connection was strong enough to survive any distance. "We'll miss you," Kira said, giving Maya a hug. "But this is such an exciting opportunity. We're so happy for you." Maya hugged them both, tears in her eyes. "Thank you. You guys have been such a huge part of my life. I don't know what I would have done without you." They spent the rest of the evening reminiscing about all the adventures they had shared, talking about their hopes and dreams for the future. As the night drew to a close, they all went to bed with a sense of contentment, knowing they had each other, no matter what. Chapter 27. Jing's phone rang, interrupting his morning meditation. He answered and heard a frantic voice on the other end. "Jing, it's Mina. I need your help," she gasped. Mina was a member of their Tantric sex community and had been attending the retreat center for a few months. She had quickly become one of Jing's regular partners, but he sensed there was something deeper going on with her. "What's wrong, Mina?" Jing asked. "There's been a fire at my apartment," Mina said, her voice shaking. "I lost everything. I don't know what to do." Jing immediately knew what he had to do. He called Kira and Maya, and they all met at the retreat center to help their friend. They spent the next few days helping Mina find temporary housing, contacting insurance companies, and sorting through the remains of her apartment. During this time, Jing noticed that something was off between Mina and him. She was distant and avoided eye contact, and he sensed that she was holding something back. One night, after a long day of sorting through Mina's belongings, Jing found her sitting alone on the porch, staring out at the stars. "Mina, what's going on?" he asked gently. Mina took a deep breath and looked at him with tears in her eyes. "Jing, I need to tell you something," she said. "I've been struggling with my feelings for you. I know we have a connection, but I'm scared to explore it." Jing felt a wave of emotions flood over him. He had always been attracted to Mina, but he also valued their friendship and didn't want to ruin it. "Mina, I care about you deeply," he said. But we need to be careful. Our community is important to us, and we don't want to cause any harm. Mina nodded, and they sat in silence for a few moments, both lost in their thoughts. Jing, can you teach me more about tantric sex? Mina asked after a while. Jing smiled. Of course, he said. Let's start tomorrow. Jing knew that he and Mina had a lot to explore, but he also knew that they had to be patient and careful. He felt a sense of excitement and fear, but also deep love for his community. He knew that as long as they all stayed true to their values and kept communication open, they could continue to explore the world of tantric sex and deepen their connections. Chapter 28. Jing woke up early and stepped outside onto the balcony to stretch and breathe in the fresh morning air. As he gazed out at the tranquil gardens below, he noticed a woman walking towards the retreat center. She was tall, with long, dark hair, and a deep sense of calmness radiated from her every movement. Jing watched as she approached the entrance, and curiosity got the better of him. He slipped on a robe and made his way downstairs to greet her. As their eyes met, Jing felt a jolt of something unfamiliar, a spark of attraction mixed with a sense of recognition. My name is Elena, she said with a smile. I am here for the tantric sex workshop. Jing introduced himself, and they fell into an easy conversation, discussing their shared interest in Tantra and their respective experiences with it. It quickly became apparent to Jing that Elena was no novice when it came to tantric sex. She spoke with a confidence and understanding that impressed him, and he felt a deep sense of respect and admiration for her. Over the next few days, Jing and Elena grew closer, sharing ideas and techniques, exploring new depths of pleasure and connection. Jing found himself opening up to her in a way that he hadn't with anyone in a long time, and he found himself feeling both a sense of vulnerability and a sense of security. As the workshop came to a close, Jing knew that he didn't want to say goodbye to Elena just yet. He asked her to stay on for a few more days, and she agreed. Jing felt a sense of excitement and anticipation building inside him. He didn't know where this connection with Elena would go, but he was eager to find out. For the first time in a long time, he felt a sense of hope and possibility for his future. Chapter 29. Jing woke up to find himself tangled up in the sheets with the new woman he had met. As he tried to unravel himself, he accidentally pulled the sheets too hard, causing them to fly off the bed and land on top of Kira, who was sleeping on the floor. Kira jolted awake, looking around in confusion, only to find herself suffocating under a pile of sheets. Jing and the new woman burst out laughing, barely able to catch their breath as they tried to free Kira. Finally, Kira emerged from the sheets, gasping for air and sputtering curses at Jing and his new lover. But, despite the chaos, everyone couldn't help but laugh at the ridiculous situation. As they settled down, Jing couldn't help but feel grateful for this group of friends who could find humor and joy even in the most unexpected moments. They spent the rest of the morning chatting and reminiscing before deciding to head out to a nearby hot spring. Jing felt happy and content as he soaked in the hot water, surrounded by his friends. Despite the ups and downs of their lives and relationships, they always found a way to come together and support each other. As the sun began to set, they packed up their things and headed back to the retreat center. Jing couldn't wait to see what adventures lay ahead for him and his Tantric sex crew lovers. Chapter 30. The group of Tantric sex lovers spent the next few days laughing, exploring, and having fun. They were grateful to be surrounded by people who understood and accepted them for who they were. Jing couldn't believe how lucky he was to have found such an incredible group of people that he could share his passion with. One day, they decided to take a hike in the nearby mountains. The sun was shining and the air was warm and fresh. They walked for a few hours, stopping every now and then to admire the breathtaking scenery around them. They talked about their lives and shared their dreams and aspirations, feeling a deep sense of connection and trust in each other. As they walked, they stumbled upon a small cabin in the woods. They decided to take a break and explore it. The cabin was old and rustic, with wooden walls and floors and a big fireplace in the center. The group immediately fell in love with the place and decided to stay there for a few nights. They spent their days cooking, reading, and exploring the woods. They would sit by the fireplace at night, drinking wine and sharing intimate stories from their past. Jing found himself becoming more and more connected to the new woman he had met, and he couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and joy at the thought of what the future held for them. As their trip came to an end, Jing felt a sense of sadness creeping in. He didn't want to leave this magical place or the people he had grown to love. But he knew that life had to go on, and they would always have memories of this special time together. As they packed up their things and said their goodbyes, Jing felt a sense of gratitude and love for each and every one of them. He knew that they had become his family, his tribe, and he would always cherish the moments they shared together. As they walked away from the cabin, Jing held hands with the new woman he had met, feeling a sense of hope and excitement for what the future held for them.